Hello, everyone. Tim Saeland here with PDX Real Estate Team. And when diving into the world of home buying or selling, one crucial component that often comes up but might not always be fully understood is the home insurance. It's not just about protecting bricks and mortar, it's about safeguarding memories, assets, and providing peace of mind. So to help us navigate the intricacies of home insurance and to offer insights that could benefit everyone from first-time home buyers to our seasoned homeowners, I'm delighted to be joined by Shellie Monsivais with Country Financial. With 5 years experience under her belt, Shellie has been instrumental in helping countless individuals and families find the right coverage for their homes. So welcome, Shellie Monsivais. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Tim. Pleasure to be here.
So we're going to get started on some basic coverage questions. So what does a standard home insurance policy cover?
So standard home insurance policy is going to cover the dwelling, the house. It'll cover your personal property, which is furniture, clothing, electronics, everything you have inside. It'll cover liability in case you're sued for damages, either damages to people or damages to other people's personal property, as well as guest medical coverage.
Perfect. So how can a policy be tailored to fit specific needs?
So as far as the liability coverage goes, I always say make sure you have as much liability coverage as you have in total assets, because a good lawyer is going to look at your total assets and say, well, maybe this is how much we can take them for. So I want to make sure you have enough liability coverage there to cover those. As far as the dwelling goes, you want to make sure that the cost of labor and materials to rebuild is correct, and that they have the right amount of personal property coverage. Some people might have a lot of valuables that we're not thinking about. Maybe they have a $50,000 wedding ring, which is surprisingly common, or maybe they have just like a cell phone that they want to schedule. That you want to make sure that if they accidentally damage it, that's covered.
Yeah. So you brought up labor and materials. So I have a lot of this asked me all the time is, I just bought my house for $650,000. Why is my insurance only $425,000?
Right. So we're covering just labor and materials to cover the rebuild of the house. We are not covering the value of the land, the value of the neighborhood, or just the value of how pretty the home is and how much extra somebody was willing to pay to get it. We're looking at just labor and materials to rebuild the home to what it was before.
Got it. So what kind of factors affect the cost of a home insurance policy?
So one of them is going to be how much does it cost to rebuild the house, as well as how much in personal property do they have. I mean, the coverages are going to affect it, obviously, as well as something like an insurance-based credit report, which includes like whether they have claims in the past. Those will all affect the price in the end, as well as things like, do they have a multi-policy discount? The like bundling with an auto insurance policy is always going to make it quite a bit less than if you just have the home insurance policy on its own.
Got it. So are there any discounts available for home buyers?
Well, in addition to the auto insurance, like multi-policy discount, there is a new roof discount. So if somebody recently replaced the roof, there's a discount there. There are things like smart home discounts nowadays, or if they have a Nest thermostat or a Ring doorbell, things like that can be a discount, as well as the standard like alarm systems that'll alert the central police station, central fire station, things like that.
That'll give you more discounts. Well, that's good. So I also heard you say something a second ago about credit. So does somebody's credit score get dinged because everybody's worried while they're purchasing a home? Now I'm asking my insurance agent or a new insurance agent to cover me. Is that a ding on their credit report when you request?
No, that is a soft pull. And it's also, it's a soft pull, an insurance-based credit score. So it's going to look a little different than the credit score that the mortgage company pulls.
Yeah, so it shouldn't really affect it. You don't have to worry about that, folks.
Right.
So how do deductibles work and what options are available?
So deductible is how much you're responsible for paying before the insurance company pays the rest. So what options are available? Usually anywhere from $250 to $10,000. I mean, there's a huge range. Most people, I'll say, will choose around $1,000 or $2,000 for their deductible. And so if you have home insurance claim, damage to the house, you cover that first, let's say $1,000. Insurance company covers the rest. Same with personal property. If you had property that was stolen or damaged, then cover that first $1,000. Company covers the rest. And that's on a per event basis. So if you have house and property damaged from the same event, you just pay the one deductible and the company covers the rest.
And the average that most people do is $1,000 deductible?
1,000 or 2,000, yeah.
So what can you tell me what the claims process is like?
So for a claim, a lot of the time people will call me first, which is nice. I get to know and make sure that they know that they're going to be taken care of. We'll go through, okay, like let's say it's a water damage claim, which is one of the most common. Make sure that they mitigate that. Make sure they're trying to clean up some of the water so that it doesn't do as much damage. And then we'll work through either we can process the claim through their Country Financial app, or we can call our claims department directly. They'll get back usually within 24 business hours, and then just move on from there. I always tell the client, if you have any issues, usually there are no issues, but if you do, just let me know. I can make sure that everything's moving smoothly.
Speaking of water damage, one of the things that most people don't do is they don't remove their refrigerator out. So you have that slow leak behind the refrigerator for the ice maker that has damaged the floor. Is that something that's covered under home insurance?
So the kind of like slow damage over time is the kind of thing that it would not usually be covered by home insurance. Home insurance usually states it needs to be sudden and unexpected. So like a fire, like a sudden pipe burst would be covered. But the slow leak over time that's just not taken care of, that's the kind of thing that would normally be excluded.
So definitely move your refrigerator, clean out all those dust bunnies, collect the coins, and make sure that you're not leaking behind your refrigerator. So what are the common exclusions or limitations in a home insurance policy?
So in addition to that slow damage over time, which would normally be like the water damage or mold, a lot of the time is excluded because it's slow damage over time. Things like earthquake and flood are usually automatically excluded from a policy, but those can be purchased separately to either be added back into the same policy or a separate policy to take care of any damage from that event.
Okay. When you talk about earthquake and flood, since we have a lot of people from California, for earthquake insurance, is there a difference in price for somebody to purchase earthquake insurance if a home has either been strapped down or is bolted to the foundation, as newer homes have been?
So we don't have a price difference on whether it's been strapped or not. Country Financial is one of the few home insurers that I've noticed that will actually just cover it regardless of whether it's strapped down. There are some year requirements on that. I think it's excluded if it's like early 1900s, but then the strapping might help with that as well.
Oh, cover that. Great. So home inventory. So how are people supposed to keep track of everything that they have in their home? So when they do, let's say the place, God forbid, burns down, how would I go about telling you everything, or what should I be doing to prepare to tell you what I need to claim for the house?
The easiest way is to take a video. So a lot of the time people think like, do I need to make a list? And the answer is like, who wants to do that? Who wants to make a list and say, oh, I have exactly this many white socks, this many black socks? It's too much. So what I recommend is grab out your phone, take a video, open all the cabinets, open all the drawers, just take a video inventory of what you have so that if claim time does come, then instead of already being under stress, freaking out about your house being burned down, you don't have to try to remember everything. You can just look at the video, watch it, write down based on what you see, and remember from that.
So I know from experience, because you're my agent, but how often should a person be getting in touch with their agent just to see if they need any changes in their policy?
Once a year. We always recommend an annual review.
Okay. And what's the purpose for that? I mean,
Lots of changes can happen in a year. Some people will remodel bathroom, kitchen, and not really think about telling who's going to think about telling their insurance agent. So we want to make sure that those things are updated, though, because if their home burns down, they had really nice quartz countertops that they put in, a heated tile floor, then we don't want to put in the old vinyl flooring and laminate countertops. We want to make sure that
Whatever the video covered before, the 1970s shag carpet or little flooring. So you want to make sure the same thing is replaced.
Right.
Cool. Another thing that I've seen out there, because home buyers and sellers tend to do this home warranty that's covered by an outside company, which just covers usually electrical, plumbing, and other certain things. Now, I do know that if a pipe did burst, they have that home warranty. If there was a sewer clog up, that is covered from their home warranty. But the damage to the house because of that would be covered under their home insurance?
If it is a sudden unexpected pipe burst or something like that, then yes, we would cover that damage. The only time that we would not would be like if it was one of those slow leaks over time that caused mold or other such damage.
Yeah, because again, I know those home warranty companies, they only cover the pipe burst. They'll replace the pipe, but they're not going to come in and fix the sheetrock or the damage that was done by that. So,
right. We'll take care of
that. This is definitely some questions that every home buyer should be asking of their insurance agent. And I do appreciate Shellie coming by here today to answer some of these questions for us. So get in touch with your insurance agent just to make sure that you're fully covered. Thank you, Shellie.
Thank you, Tim.